Hello, good evening. My name is Erica Purcell-Williams, and I'm submitting this video in regards to my interest in the Career Navigation Facilitator position with KCTC. I do want to give a heads up that with the camera issues that we had earlier, I am using two different devices now just to make sure that we are capturing this particular film. Again, I really want you to be able to get a sense of who I am and why I'm really interested in joining your team. So if you see me looking off to the side, I'm reading the questions that were sent as well as making sure that I'm engaging with both cameras. So to go ahead and get started, to tell you a little bit about myself and what part of my resume I'm most proud of. Well, again, I'm Erica. I'm a graduate of the Ottawa Hills High School, New Century High School here in Grand Rapids, Michigan. I'm a graduate of the University of Michigan in Ann Arbor with my Bachelor of Arts in African American Studies and Biological Anthropology. I'm also a graduate of the George Washington University with my master's degree in Public Health Communications and Marketing. I would say that I'm a pretty active individual within this community. For me, music is a very big part of my life. So I am a member of New Hope Baptist Church and I'm a member of their band. So I do spend a considerate amount of time practicing my music and playing different gigs around town. So you might see me at festival. You might see me around on a local stage as well too. Other than that, I'm also a volunteer with the Grand Rapids Public School System, specifically with my alma mater, Ottawa. I do work in the athletics department, specifically with the football program. So, with my resume, I would say one of the most important things about my resume would probably be my journey within education. To be an individual that has graduated from high school, college, and grad school is something that means a lot. Not a lot of people within my community have been able to achieve education on all three levels, and I think that it means a lot because I've had so much support from members in my community. Whether they were calling in to check in, to make sure that I'm doing my homework, showing up to classes, or just to make sure that I had the resources necessary, I've been able to achieve because I've had people standing in the gap for me and making sure that I was really focused on my target and, they really pushed me along the way. So, what about the Career Navigation Facilitator position sparks my interest, and why do I desire to work with KCTC? Well, I'm a people person, and I really enjoy working with students in particular. You'll find that I have a pretty extensive background in working within the education field, so I've had opportunities to work with Ann Arbor Public Schools, District of Columbia Public Schools. I'm currently working as a volunteer with GRPS, and I have served as an actual employee with GRPS. And I've also worked overseas in South Africa as well too with with some of their community colleges and universities. So education is very important to me. And with KCTC, I really appreciate the approach that it takes in terms of reaching out to students in a different manner. So rather than having more of a classroom type of setting, KCTC seems really interesting to me because it gives students the opportunity to see what their career could look like. That hands-on approach is something that I strongly believe in, and I do want to be a part of an environment that shows students that they can achieve their dreams and that gives them the opportunity to learn for themselves what their career could look like, and it also gives them opportunities to shape what their future would look like as well too. So within this particular position, as the Career Navigation Facilitator, I do want to play a role as a member of the team. I want to be able to answer questions for students as well as helping them become equipped for what their future could look like. So being able to help them determine what pathway they're going to take and figure out what the next best steps for them to take would be, that's something that intrigues me and that's something that really pulls me to this position. The team is assigned to plan a new concept for a college and career-ready student event. Please tell us about the planning process and my role in it, as well as my ability to deliver a successful outcome for the students and school community. Within my past position, I've been able to play roles that have required me to do a lot of planning for events. For example, when I worked at Calvin University within both the biology department and the chemistry and biochem departments, I was responsible for planning a lot of student outreach activities, as well as overseeing the student employment program. Within that, I would say that my role is more so of a leadership type of role. So I am the individual that likes to sit down and likes to organize based upon what the objectives are, getting a sense of what the end goal should be, and then from there working backwards to figure out what specific roles should be handled and who should take on what tasks. So, for example, planning what were called Chem demos with Calvin University, that required me to figure out which schools to reach out to, how to help those schools with transportation. It required taking a look at different venues on campus, as well as making sure that we were taking care of some of the smaller logistics. So, for example, reserving the different venues, making sure that we were following fire code, as well as making sure that some of the resources within our laboratory were accessible to our professors and faculty, so that way they could carry out the presentation. So I would say that within the planning process, I am comfortable within the leadership position. I'm also comfortable being a member of the team, so being accessible to my team members, helping everyone understand what their responsibilities are, and then creating opportunities for us to all sit down and check in with each other to make sure that we're all on one accord and that we're all working towards specific objectives so that way the overall event can be successful. What would be my most significant growth area in this position, and how can you support me as a team member? I would say within this particular position, one of the most significant areas of growth that I would identify would be with technology. For me, being more of a social person and someone that works in administrative roles, I think that as technology changes and grows, I do want to become more equipped and more comfortable so that way I can be the one delivering those skills as well as helping others become comfortable. I would say that within my background right now, I do have extensive experience when it comes to a lot of the Microsoft programs. So Excel, Word, PowerPoint, I'm comfortable with those. However, I really would like to work with other software that may focus more so on statistical information or handling more so hard data. So that way we can figure out the best ways to bring forward information in a way that's sensible to all people. So I would appreciate opportunities such as attending different trainings, having access to different resources, as well as working with individuals that are, I would say, more heavily involved utilizing different softwares. So that way I could become more proficient. What two professional attributes best describe me, and how would I use those traits to acclimate to my new role and the team successfully? Well, I would say one of the most significant professional attributes would be organization. I would consider myself more so of a type A type of person. So I know for some people it's like, I don't know about that. But I do consider that to be a positive because it allows me to stay organized. It allows me to see what certain goals are and it allows me to keep tabs. So I would say having that organization in place has been really successful. And whether that is having a type of, I would say, just a type of pattern that I like to follow, or just having an idea of what a routine may be and what my routine looks like, has really allowed me to be successful in past administrative positions. Um, I would also say that one of my other professional attributes would be what I call being a people person. So being outgoing, being extroverted. I really enjoy working with people. I'm the type of individual that likes to converse with others. So sitting down, listening, asking questions, and gaining perspective of others is something that I really enjoy doing. So I think that being a good team member requires an individual to know how to listen and to take that information in order to turn it into a really good product. So being able to bring forth that organizational skill as well as that ability to be a people person would allow me to be a great team member. What do I believe is one of the most significant factors in education today that impacts students' ability to become college and career ready? And what could be a solution to removing that barrier and improving student post-secondary outcomes? That's a good question. I think one of the most significant factors for students today would be the lack of knowledge of resources. So when I say that, that means that students are oftentimes told, go to college, do this, study that. But sometimes they may not have an understanding of what resources exist for them in order for them to reach that particular goal. So, for example, students may not know about different summer programs and what those summer programs entail. Students may not really have a good understanding of what college is all about. They might have in their mind that college is just like high school, where in reality it's the complete opposite. So I think that having more hands-on programs really allows students to have a better idea of what those outcomes could look like. For example, I am a big supporter of programs that really focus on student outreach, such as the Upper Bound program that's existed within GRPS for a number of years. Those type of programs put students in actual situations. That way they can learn for themselves. It's hands-on and it's tangible, and students have a better idea of what their outcome could be. So I would say more so having tangible programs, having actual hands-on experiences would be a big solution and would be the most successful solution. Finally, is there anything in your interview questions that don't really cover information about me as a candidate or my skill set that I hope that I'd have a chance to show? And if so, I can share that with you. Well, I would say that this covers a lot of information that I would want to share with you for now. I'm hoping that in the upcoming interview, we could talk a little bit more in depth about what I could bring to your team, as well as my vision for this particular role. Again, I'm a people person and I'm really excited about this opportunity. And I'm hoping for an opportunity to talk a little bit more about why I would be an ideal candidate for this particular position at KCTC. So thank you all for this opportunity, and I hope to hear from you all soon. Have a good evening.